everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world. Today's card is a Guy card, and I do find difficulty with Guy cards, but this stamp set, Seaside Notions, is another new one in the 2019-2020 catalogue that makes Guy cards that much easier. It's got these lovely sort of seaside images and then 4 lovely greetings. I'm also going to be sharing with you a technique, and it's stamping off technique, where we can use the inks in different strengths to get like a variation in color texture and makes your inks more versatile. So we're going to start with our supplies, and I've got a crumb cake card base, and then I've got 2 pieces of here we go, that was the envelope, 2 pieces of vanilla card, and one slightly larger than the other, and we're going to use the larger one here. The other one is going to be the inside of the card, and I'm going to start with the stamping off technique, and I'm using a crumb cake, and oh, I'm struggling to open it here we go. And you just ink up the stamp as you normally would, and you can use it full strength, and that would be your full strength. And then if you stamp it again without re-inking, you can see that you get a lot lighter texture, and this is what I'm looking for, because I'm looking to create a background here. So I'm going to start with the stamp that has well, it's sand, looks like sand, and I'm just going to stamp it off on my paper lightly, and then just apply, and again apply, and then one more time, and that gives me my base. And then I'm going to go in, I think this is coral, I think that's what that is, or seaweed, I don't know, but it doesn't matter, it's lovely either way. And I'm just going to pop it in, and again each time, and I'm just going to offset these slightly so I can get a bit more texture in, like that, like that. And then my next stamp is a sand dollar, fantastic selection here, and I'm just going to pop them across the top, like that. And then somewhere, I think, yes, I had a little shell. Now this time I'm going to stamp off twice, so 1, 2, and then pop my shell in there. Can you see it's that just so much lighter? 1, 2, and put that in there. I think that's all I'm going to do on that one. So there's my background piece done. And then I've got my insert, and I like to decorate out my inserts. So I'm going to use the corally one again, and again I'm going to stamp it off, pop it there, and then I think I'm just going to use my little shell, and that can be for my other corner. And then finally my envelope, like to send out envelopes decorated, there we go, there. And maybe on this one I'll just put a little bit of sand each time I am stamping off, just to give me a little more lightness. Quite like that. All right, so those are those pieces finished. I must put them to one side, make sure I don't lose them. And then I'm going to work with the my centerpiece, and I'm using Rich Razzleberry for my seahorse. And this piece of cardstock, as memory serves, is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I'm going to make sure that my seahorse runs roughly north to south here, and I want him to be pretty near the top, There we go, like that. And then I'm going to go back in with my other stamps and just stamp off again and put some sand. I've got a little gap at the bottom, so I fill that step in. And then I'm going to use, I think I'll use my shell again. And I'm going to stamp this off twice, 1, 2, and just pop it like that. So I think I'm good to go on that one. So I'm going to layer this piece onto a piece of rich raspberry, and this is about 1/4 inch all round bigger. So if this is probably 3 by 3 if memory serves. Now the directions and the dimensions, sorry, for this card are going to be on my blog, and if you look just below this video, you'll see a link to my blog, and that will take you to some more information, as well as a link to my online store where you can go ahead and buy your goodies. So I'm just using a multi-purpose liquid adhesive to attach my pieces together. This is my base card in crumb cake. Put a nice firm crease with my bone folder, and now that's my envelope. There's my liner. I like to put a liner inside my cards when they are using coloured cardstock, and that way you've got something to write on, like this. And again, the reason I like to use liquid adhesive is it gives me what I call some working room or working time, and it allows me, if I have particularly a piece like this that has got really quite narrow margins, it gives me a little bit of working time that I can just squish it around. The my vanilla piece on my rich raspberry piece allows me to squish it around a little bit so as I can get nice even margins on my card. So taking off there we go, make sure that's the right way up, back of my dimensionals there. And then I'm going to attach this with some dimensionals. I like to put one in each corner plus one in the middle. I have this awful fear that if I don't attach pieces fully, when somebody pulls it out of the envelope, it's gonna fall in half, and that scares the living daylights out of me, I really must say. So then I've got this piece of this is the Magnolia ribbon, the combo pack, and I've just cut myself off 3 or 4 inches. I'm going to just pop a glue dot about halfway along and just fold it in half like that, slightly offset to give me like a little flag. And then with my scissors, I've already cut that piece. I'm just going to cut the other miter that slightly. Then another glue dot, and I'm just going to pop that coming out around about here, and then attach it to my card. So I've chosen to do this one sort of as a diamond shape, and doing this with the 3 by 3 card is just enough to fit north and south of my card without it overlapping, being too big for the envelope. Now that's gone down a little bit lower than I anticipated. I'm just going to whizzle that round. I might need to trim that off again in a minute. So then I've got my happy birthday. So I've got a couple of scraps of paper here, and I've got my happy birthday. Again, this is from the same stamp set, and I'm going to use a little bit of rich raspberry, and I've got a strip of cardstock here, and I have a feeling it's about 1 inch wide, but it's big enough to fit my greeting like that. And I'm just going to get some paper snips, and I'm just going to cut the same angle like that. And then I have my piece of rich raspberry. This is slightly wider. It looks like this is about 1.25 inches, I guess. So I'm going to attach my card to that piece as it is, and I'm going to line up, and you see here how useful the liquid adhesive really can be, because I want to get a very fine margin up here like that. I'm going to need to put my reading glasses on. Hold on a second. There we go. Like that. And then I've got some longer scissors, and I'm going to use them to line up my angle like that, both ends. That needs to be a little finer. And then I'm just going to cut across the bottom like that. And there I've got a nice greeting to put on my card, that's layered onto the coordinating colour. Now on this piece I am going to put a little liquid glue on one end and dimensionals on the other, and that's because it's going to be overlapping this piece, which is also popped up on dimensionals. And if I put dimensionals on both sides, it'll be lopsided and it won't look very good at all. So I'm going to put it so that I think I quite like it there, and I'm just going to get my ribbon scissors again, and I'm just going to trim this off a little bit more. I don't mind it hanging a little bit. It'll get a little bit curled in the envelope, but there we go. So there we are. So there's my card using the Stampin' Off technique. I certainly hope that you've enjoyed me sharing it with you. As I said, click below this video and it'll take you to my blog where there'll be more details. Thank you for joining me today. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.